So yesterday evening, Mum and I went to a skincare, it was like a conference or a talk, PowerPoint presentation. We learned so much and I thought this was really cool. I had no idea. So we got a little vitamin C antioxidant facial mask. And we also had some under eye patches. Lots of other lovely treats. This was such a cool idea. So we had these paddles and basically we were asked things that were either true or false. So one of the big myths is that retinol makes your skin thinner. It doesn't. Retinol doesn't make your skin thinner. And I didn't realise how she was saying vitamin C. So once you put vitamin C serum on in the morning, and then you would have SPF on to end your skincare routine after cleansing and moisturising. So you put the vitamin C on before the moisturiser, so cleanser, vitamin C serum, moisturiser, and then SPF to protect you from not just the sun, but UV rays, pollution, blue light as well. So something we don't think about is how blue light can affect your skin. So you also want to be protecting your skin not just from the sun, but also from UV rays when it's cloudy, rainy. So any weather, even if you're indoors, SPF always, because you also have blue light coming from phone screens, computer screens. So that was really interesting. And I think that was the main thing I took away from it. We were also given little notebooks to take notes during the presentation. And another thing I learned is about niacinamide, and niacinamide is one of those ones that can be quite confusing for people because there is so much information out there and it's very confusing, and the skincare industry is constantly coming up with new discoveries, and there's all these different products on the market and it's just kind of overwhelming. So I loved how she was frank, to the point, down to earth, and just very matter of fact about the whole thing, which I love, no BS. And the big one is that niacinamide calms the skin. So if you're someone like me, because I get rosacea on my cheeks, for example, if your skin's very sensitive, if you find it flares up, if products are kind of too harsh on it, so especially if you have sensitive skin, you want to be especially careful with chemical exfoliants, things like AHAs. You might be better off with just like a manual, really mild exfoliator, so as gentle exfoliator as possible if your skin's very sensitive. And I've found personally that a milk cleanser, if you have sensitive skin, is great, because the problem with regular cleansers is they can really dry out your skin, so it depends if your skin type is normal, combination, or oily. And another thing I learned is that I think she was saying the right oil won't clog your pores. The right skin oil won't clog your pores. So she really helped us demystify a lot of stuff. Another thing I learned is hyaluronic acid. So it's a huge really buzzword in the skincare community, and it's great. And I think especially during winter, it's not going to hurt you having hyaluronic acid in your skincare routine, but it's not as important as vitamin C. So I was really surprised how vitamin C and SPF and retinol are like your main ones. And then something moisturising and cleanser. But yeah, SPF, vitamin C and retinol were like the big takeaways for me. And how hyaluronic acid is, and then peptides are fantastic, of course, because that produces collagen. But it's more of just like if you're someone who has really dry or dull skin, or your skin is just like constantly thirsty, hyaluronic acid is great, but not on its own. You want to have hyaluronic acid and then have something to lock in the serum, because the serum is your first one, and then you want to have a moisturiser on top of your serum to lock in the moisture. So I learned a lot from the event and I thought it was really informative. Another really interesting thing I learned is, you know how you've probably heard about oxygen facials? We have to have oxygen to live, but unfortunately for us, oxygen's not great for your skin. So we learned that, you know how you'll have things that will rust, or like an apple, like you take a bite out of an apple, you leave it and it gets brown. So we learned that the same thing for your skin. So the big one is sun. You want to protect your skin from the sun as much as possible, because that really affects your skin type. Keep it hydrated, and stay away from oxygen. If anyone ever talks about having an oxygen face mask, don't do it, it's not good for your skin. So the talk we went to was called Julia Howard Skin Clinic. So this is where we went to for the conference about the science behind skincare. It's absolutely fascinating. We also learned about retinol. So when you get to an age where you start using retinol, don't use retinol. So if you look up a good age to kind of start using it for skin cell turnover, great for nighttime. There's over-the-counter retinol that you can get, but you want to start with the lowest percentage possible and just use it a little bit so your skin can kind of adjust to it. I have one that's just in like a night cream, so it's probably like a really low amount because my skin has had no reaction to it at all and it's been fine. And you only need to start using retinol when you're getting to like your mid-20s and up. And before that, you don't need retinol.